Hello and welcome to My Home Biz Tips. Today we're talking about the value of connection. The value series is growing and growing and growing. I apologize again for my crazy lighting. Not a brilliant environment to be in. Also for potential background noise caused by wind, because it is so hot here. I cannot work without the window open. I have to have a breeze. So very occasionally you might hear that and the chimes. Also, because of the heat and the potential for thunderstorms, which are predicted, our internet is going haywire. If I disappear, the lovely Tennille in Texas will put something on the screen just to hold it until I get back. If I don't get back at all, I'm going to write about this. This value series, I think, really is going to go places. I'm going to write this a lot. In fact, there might even be a workbook or a book at some point, because I keep thinking about things which are absolutely essential to business. And people don't understand how important and how valuable they are. It's my job to share that with you. So welcome again. I'm Andrea Koochin. It is now just gone 7 o'clock UK time on a Tuesday evening. Just gone 7 o'clock and the sun is still shining. Weird. If I were in San Diego at 7 o'clock in the evening, it would be beginning to get dark. Here it begins to get dark about 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock-ish or so. So we have the long evenings. Anyway, this one is not going to be long because we might be cut off as we were a few minutes ago. So let me talk to you about the value of connection. Connection, not connections, although it applies there too. Connections are the people that you know, right? You may have heard the expression, connection is currency. Connections are currency. In other words, it's who you know, not necessarily what you know. So if you start a brand new business and you know two people and one of them is your mother, you are not going to become a millionaire unless you work hard. If you start a new business and you've got 5,000 friends on Facebook and a mailing list of 5,000 people and an Instagram account that's buzzing every few minutes, you could get to a millionaire pretty quick. So it's about your connections. Those are people. I wasn't specifically talking about people today, but connection itself. In other words, being connected and connecting to people. The value of connection is known by every business owner, for sure. What doesn't happen, though, often is the work that's involved in doing it, because it's perceived to be work. Yes, I know this because I went through that myself. It's too much like hard work to connect with people all the time. You want to work at being connected to the 2 or 3 people who you met last week that you know are going to be great clients. Never mind the other 6 that, you know, seem to be only asking you about your business out of politeness. No, you want to connect with everybody. Why? Because SW, SW, SW. Some will, some won't, and some wait. There is another SW, actually, which stands for so what. That's a different topic. This one is important. Some will, right now. They'll love what you're talking about, and they'll want what you've got to offer right now. Some won't. They won't at all, maybe ever. Some wait. I've got customers and clients that I've known and been in contact with 5 or 6 years, because before they suddenly realize that what I have to offer is what they're looking for, or they were working when I met them, and now they're not employed by someone. Now they're setting up their own businesses, and they realize, and they come to me and ask about whatever it was 5 years later, 6 years later. Some people, even when they won't, because they don't need you. I mean, for example, I know loads of realtors but I am absolutely 100% guaranteed not to do business with 99.9 of them, because they're not even in the area that I would buy property in, or I might never buy property in the US. It might be in the UK, or, anyway, you get what I mean. I'm not necessarily their ideal client. But is it worth their while staying in touch with me? Heck yes. Why? Because I know people. I know people all over the place. And I'm not bragging, oh, I know loads of people, but I do know people. So if I know somebody in San Diego or in Cheltenham, which is where I am now, who says, oh, we're looking to buy a little property in Florida to spend our retirement years or to take the kids during the summer. If I know a realtor in Florida, they're going to get business, aren't they? So even if that realtor in Florida might have been on my email list for 10 years and might have received, done no business with me whatsoever and might even not be marketing to me anymore, I am continuing to keep that connection open, which means that I can help and support that person at some time. And it's not always about what everybody else can do for me. Sometimes my life really is about what I can do for everybody else. I'm a natural networker. I naturally connect people to each other wherever they are, right? If I meet someone, my mind automatically goes, oh, they do this. We know so-and-so who does that. I wonder what kind of a connection there would be. This is why it's so useful to brainstorm with me, guys, because a lot of what is in my head, I don't even know that it's in my head until connections are made, until sparks fire. So come to me with your questions. Anyway, the value of connection. So how do we stay connected? Well, nowadays, thanks to the internet and the amazingness of social media, that's not hard. Connection doesn't mean that you keep promoting your business to somebody. Okay, I'm going to say that again because it's really important. And I've written about this before and it still keeps happening. So obviously the general message about how not to promote your business on social media is not getting through, because I'm still inundated with people saying, hey, I just saw your profile on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it is, and I think you're a great fit for this product I'm trying to sell. Thank you, but no thank you. What I want to hear is, hey, I just found your profile on the internet, on social media or something, and I noticed that you're a so-and-so. How does that work? Or I've got a friend who does so-and-so. Is that similar? Or something like that. Or I noticed that you've got a daughter who plays volleyball. Or I noticed something human. Pretend you're at a cocktail party. Don't be the bashing people over the head about the business person, because it won't get you more business. It'll actually get you a lot of disgruntled people who don't respond to your messages. So congratulate people on big events. Follow them, flick through, and you'll see the big things coming up. Just had a child or a grandchild, just passed a driving test, just moved house, just passed an exam, just had a pet, got a new pet, and commiserate with them when things go wrong too. I mean, I've sent cards to people who've put pictures of their pets on Facebook talking about how they've lost them, or relatives that they've lost, especially in the last couple of years or so. Don't be shy about reaching out when that happens. And the nicest way to do that is to send a greeting card. Why? Well, several reasons. First of all, very few people print photographs nowadays, but pretty much everybody takes them. But sometimes you want to have something to hold. So you send somebody a photograph that makes a real impact. So a greeting card that has a photograph. So say they are announcing, well, let's go with the one we've just said. Say they're announcing the fact that they've lost their dog, and they post on Facebook their favorite picture of their dog. You know it's their favorite picture of their dog because it's the one they posted on Facebook. Okay, that's a clue. You copy it, you put it into or on the front of a greeting card, and you send a message saying, I was so sad to hear that you lost your beloved Pooch. You are in my thoughts. That's it. That's all it has to be. Not complicated. There are loads of places that you can get inspiration on what to write inside a greeting card or inside a message. And then on the back, very subtly, very subtle, subliminal promotion, if you like, is your contact information and your picture, so that if they've forgotten who you are, you can send it. Now, I send things like this even to people I don't really know very well, as long as I get their mailing address from them. And I'm talking about a real greeting card, right? Even, or anything. I'll send it about anything. Not everyone gives an address. Fine. I send a text message. I'm doing a lot more text messaging now, or I'll send an email. But I try as much as possible to touch that person, to connect with that person as much as possible. Do you remember me talking about following up and how you need a system that reminds you of things? Right. Now, when you're looking at Facebook and you're scrolling through and you see somebody posting that they've just got a new puppy or bought their 4-year-old a bicycle, that's different. But that does count as one of the 3 touches a year that you can do. 3 being my absolute minimum for people who are sort of in my system that I'm keeping connected to, right? Now, the reason I send greeting cards with contact information on the back and photographs inside is because when you send somebody a photograph, one of their favorite photographs of something actually printed, they're unlikely to throw it away. And if it has a nice message inside, less so. And if it has your contact information and even your photo on the back, then that puts you top of mind, right? Top of mind is the most important place a business owner can be. And you don't necessarily have to be top of mind with people you've done business with. You can be top of mind with people that you haven't done business with because they've heard you through somebody else. That's called top of mind awareness through others. Top of mind awareness through others, also known as tomato. Okay. So you want to be a savvy tomato. You want to keep top of mind with everybody. And that is what connection is about. So that whenever anybody mentions the field of business that you are in, their mind automatically clicks over to you. So in a group of people taking their dog for a walk in the park or watching their kids in the community sandpit or pool or whatever it is, chit-chatting, and one of them says, "Oh, my leg hurts. I really ought to go and get a massage," or we're thinking of moving house, or we want to buy a flat for our parents or something like that, your mind will immediately go, "Oh, yes, I know. That chiropractor, I've got their information on that greeting card that's either stuck on the fridge or on the shelf in my desk, or maybe in the kitchen drawer, but it hasn't been thrown away. It's accessible," right? So your contact information is accessible. That's a really good way of touching people. And like I said before, I wouldn't recommend overdoing it at all. It's worth the money for the investment. So there are those things, those spontaneous things. And then there's your standard, this is what we do on a regular basis. And when you have that in place, those connections that you make with those people, which are consistent, not frequent, but consistent. It doesn't matter if all you do is remember somebody's birthday, Mother's Day or Father's Day, and their holidays. It doesn't matter as long as that is regular, as long as you remember it every year. right? It's not the frequency, it's the consistency that is what the most important element of keeping connections, right? And making connections. And it should be a pleasure. Rather than being work, it should be fun to do, because you know that when you're reaching out to touch that person, you're sharing humanness with them. You're sharing yourself with them as a human being. And especially coming out of this lockdown situation where we haven't been able to connect as much as we used to, or as much as possibly we would like to, it's all the more important for that human connection to be there. So just think of it as an outflow of good thoughts, good feeling, and good energy coming from you. And you know, the amazing thing about this, and it took me a long time to believe, because I tend to be one of those people who has to see in order to believe. Although I've heard so many times that if you believe first, you see faster or more. I'm a bit slow when it comes to that kind of thing. Very, very grateful for any suggestions when any of you might have on how I can improve that. Anyway, when you outflow good things come back to you, not necessarily from the same place. Not necessarily from the same place. So if I outflow to you, I'm not going to necessarily get business from you, but I might get business from someone else who just stumbled across me or stumbled upon me on the internet or in the park in some way. So it is cause and effect to a degree. You are putting a good cause out there to get the effect of more business and more connection, because that's what makes us human beings. And whether you like it or not, or rather whether you agree or not, you need it. As human beings, we need connection. We need connection. Well, I know this might sound exaggerated, but almost as much as we need food and water. Certainly as much as we need food. Water, potentially not. But I think the most important things in our lives are water, food, sleep, and connection, right? In that order: water, food, sleep, and connection. Right. So all you do is you reach out consistently with text messages and emails and greeting cards and social media posts, comments. Really good one. Gently. You're not promoting. This is not about promoting your business. This is simply about connecting. And when you reach out to people and connect with people, people will start coming back and asking you questions. And then you will become top of their mind as the expert who does whatever it is that you do, because you've been put here to make your corner of the world a better place in the area that you're working in. And eventually you'll be top of mind through others. In other words, people who've never done business with you at all and wouldn't do business with you at all because that's not their area, or you're in the wrong state or country, still know who you are and refer you to other people. Okay, so the value of connection is that if you're making connections, if you're connecting to people on a regular basis, not a frequent basis, but a regular basis, you will have a bigger and growing pool of people when you do have something that you want to talk to about in terms of business, when you do want to find people to become involved in a business venture of yours of some kind, whatever that might be. Okay, so with the connections that you make, gently, not promoting your business, just being a caring human being, you lay the foundations for building a successful business on top. So the value of connection is absolutely essential. You can be the best time management person. You can absolutely have your statistics, your numbers ringing with perfection. But if you've got nobody to communicate with, it's not going to work. You're going to have to spend so much more time and effort building connection, right? So go back to the people that you knew 5 years ago, 10 years ago, people you were at school with, okay? Connect with them. That's all it is. Connection is currency. And don't forget, currency is not only money, it's just energy flow generally, right? We talk about electric currents, right? It's just a flow of energy. And if you flow out good, caring energy by keeping your connections with people current and open and keeping something always flowing out, other things will flow in. So the value of connection is that it's an easy, pleasurable way to make other people happy, which helps your business grow. It's almost magic. Okay, guys, any questions? I'm going to end this before the internet comes along and says, you're not doing any more of this. Because that happened just before we started. It was like, that's strange. My screen's gone blank. And everyone in the house shouting, where's the internet gone? We've just lost Netflix. So there you are. I'm going to close before it gets rainy and stormy over here. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Andrea at MyhOmeBizTIPS. You can find information on everything there, everything that we have to offer to help. You can book yourself a free 45-minute brainstorming session where I will literally find out what you need and want and spark ideas. In the last few weeks, you would be amazed at the new things that I've been introduced to and the new ways that I've got of helping people now without them necessarily having to put a lot of effort into running a business. So if you have questions, reach out and stay connected, guys. Connect to each other, love each other, spread good feelings amongst each other, and it really will help your business grow. That's it for tonight. Lots and lots of love. Take care.